uJesu yena mfeliwa owazithwala izono zakho osekethile uvalo lwakho ngiyakuthanda uJesu uJesu alimnandipho uJesu njalo uJesu siza kulisho amanje phakathe ingekhathali thekha ilizwa lelo kamala liqedisinyembesinya elomsindisi uJesu alimnandipho uJesu njalo uJesu siza kulisho namanje naphakathe alikho nelilodwa qha ezweni nongalaphaya uJesu alimnandipho uJesu njalo uJesu siza kulisho namanje naphakathe uJesu alimnandipho uJesu njalo uJesu siza kulisho namanje naphakathe. Ake silunge kuba singa bantwana bakhe kuba singa bantwana bakhe ake silunge kuba singa bantwana bakhe kuba singa bantwana bakhe.
There is beyond the hours of blue a God concealed of human sight, heating the skies with heavenly hue, and framed the world with His great mind.
There is a God, He is alive, in Him we live, and we survive
from dust of God, created man. He is a God, that reign There was a long time ago voice the prophets heard. He is the God that we should know, who speaks from his inspired word. There is a God, he's alive, in him we live, and we survive from dust and gold. Amen. He is our God, the great I am. Secure this life from mortal man. God holds the gem within his hand. Though men may search, they cannot find, for God alone does understand. There is a God, he's alive, in we live, and we survive from dust and gold.
Display here. I think we have been having this workshop for some time now, when we are talking about finances. And we have decided that we need to do that because most of the things that we do, I'll say 90% of things that you do involves money. And when money comes to you and it's not being handled properly, you'll find that you are battling as a person and also as the family. And we have already mentioned that in some families the high number of divorce rates are because of the issue of finance that are not being handled properly. So it is very, very important that we keep on reminding ourselves on this topic. And I normally find some people thinking that thinking that they don't need to listen to that, and because they don't want to listen to that, they think that they're fine. They don't have any problems when it comes to money. The truth of the matter is that they are not speaking the truth. They are lying. You have to keep on looking at what is happening to your money all the time. We had said that today we are going to be talking about savings and investment. We want you and everyone also, and myself also, to be able to be people who can save and save better and invest better using the resources that we have. You must say, okay, but you've been doing this for a long time. Don't you need to save, or do you need to invest? Oh yes, I do. Like you, I do, because it is important. When you look in the book of Proverbs, we have already mentioned this sometime. It says the wise man saves for the future. Proverbs chapter 21, verse number 20. And it's all on the TLB, the Living Bible. The wise man saves for the future, but the foolish man spends whatever he gets. Yeah, I think I've mentioned this scripture before to say that if you want to test your intelligence, we find that people who are not saving, you are not very clever, according to this verse. I always emphasize that it is according to this verse, not me. It says if you don't save, you are a fool. That's what it says. I just want us to look at 5 steps today that are going to help us into going into financial freedom. This is what we are going to be sort of looking at today. 5 steps for financial freedom. There is a gentleman in the States by the name of Dave Ramsey, and he also is from Christian background as well. He has done a lot of workshops on these finances. He's just about my age as well, you know, and he has been working very hard, running a radio show on this. And I'm going to briefly just highlight some of his approaches on us building up our finances so that we can be better people. And then we are also going to look at an honest question, some question that we need to ask ourselves. Because sometimes when you don't ask yourself questions, you find that, you think everything is fine, but whereas things are not fine. And on the Dave Ramsey, I just want to highlight what he calls the baby steps that can lead a person to financial freedom. We'll look at some of those steps, and they are not really cast on stone. They can be modified here and there, but we'll look at them because they can help you also a lot. The honest question that we're going to be asking is why people who want to save, but they still don't. That's the question that we are going to try and ask ourselves. Why is it that people want to save and they know that they need to save, but they don't do it? Why? We'll talk to that and we'll ask ourselves that question and see why is it so? And thereafter, then we'll go to what we need to be talking about today. Looking at how can we save, and looking at the risk ladder, that is looking at the investment that are low risks and going to the higher risks one. What is it that you need to be looking at as a person if you are going to be saving? And also, because that comes as with risk, we're also going to talk about the need of professional advisors when you embark in that area, because you might just enter into those areas and you lose everything. And we don't want you to be in that particular situation, you see. And we'll also talk about stokvels a little bit, as a tool for saving. We're going to conclude with stokvels, because stokvels in South Africa, they are quite common. And then they are being recognized as a means of helping and people to save as well. We're together on that one also. Those are the things that we are going to try and look at today. Dave Ramsey, he listed 7 steps that if you follow them is going to help you to come from where you are struggling financially, and now you are free financially, and now you can invest. And after investing, you can also have a lot of money that you are able to give to lots of charities and stuff like this. That's what he has been advocating for many years. But let us look at that, because there are some lessons that I want us to pick up from that as well. It says you need to follow these steps one at a time. They're there. They're very easy. Suppose you are a person whose finances are not okay. What do I mean when I say the finances are not okay? That you earn money, by the end of the month, you get your salary, but you are spending and you got nothing left. You see, you're earning, you're spending, but you got nothing left. And also, the situation that you find that, yes, you are working, but when you look at how far you have progressed from 2020 to 2026, we ask you, can you show us something that you got with the money that we have? There's nothing. But you're working. You're working very hard. So, you know. But show us what do you have for your money? Nothing. So we are going to be, you know, then when you are in that particular situation, we know that your finances are not okay. And what will make the finances not to be okay? One thing will be not having a budget, having a lot of debts, ill discipline, and stuff like that. But at this point, things are not right. Are we together? What do you do first? Dave advises that for you to be able to get your life into order, you must start by having about $1,000 saved as an emergency fund money. $1,000. $1,000 in South African term, you are talking about 16,000 rand. So we are talking about between 16 and 20,000 rand. He says, try and save and have at least $1,000. That is 16,000 rand. But in South African context, you need to realize that $1,000, you know, it might be somebody's salary, or maybe double somebody's salary. So you must look at probably your 1 month's salary. Try and save your 1 month's salary, you know, and put it away as for emergency. That is to start. Okay. Why does it suggest that? So that when you have got problems, you don't rush and go and borrow. You can go to the savings that you've put away of 1,000 or of 16,000 rand to cover your things, and make sure that you replenish it so that it is always intact. You see, that is, you are heavily in debt, you are having problems and everything. Try and work out and have at least 1,000, 16, 15, 10 to 20,000 rand in your account that you can fall back on. Because when you don't have that, you go and borrow. You find that the banks can't give you money anymore. That's when you go to Machonis, friends, and everybody. You know, you see, that is the number one step that he has highlighted. He says, when you've done that, immediately start by paying off all the debt. That is the way in which you need to do is, he calls that the snowballing effect. That is, you start with, you list all your debts. All right? If you're owing 5,000 rand, 10,000 rand, 6,000 rand, 1,000 rand, 600 rand, you list all those debts from the smallest to the biggest. And then your idea is to tackle the small debt first and pay it off. And the key to this is that don't go back and make another debt. You stop making debts. You stop making debts. You pay off the other one, and the money that you have been using to pay off the smallest debt, you must combine it with the money that you're going to use again and use it to pay the second one. You understand? Okay, let me give you an example. Suppose you're owing 600 rand and you're paying 50 rand. But the other debt that you have, you are now paying 200 rand on that debt. Another debt that you have, you are paying 800 rand. We get it. So it's 50 rand, 200 rand, and 800 rand. That's what you're paying. So what do? You pay off the 600 rand one, and you do have that 50 rand that you're adding there. You're using. So you take the 50 rand and you combine it with the 200 rand. The next debt that you have, you pay 250 now. You get it? And then you start you pay off. It will finish quickly. When you finish that one, now you got 250 spare. That 250 spare, you take it, you put it to the debt that you were paying 800 rand. So on the 800 rand one, now you are paying 1,050. That's the snowballing effect. You are going to make sure, you are going to see that your debts are going to be wiped out. And the trick to this is that don't go and make any more debts anymore. You stop there. Okay. But hey, people, I don't know. Once they're free and they'll get rid of a couple of debts and they have got extra 250 rand, they say, I can go and borrow again at least. That's where the problem is, okay? And then after all the debts except the house, because the house will take you 20 years to pay, after that, he says, now you need to save at least 3 to 6 months of your salary. That is, if you are earning 10,000 rand a month, you need to have at least 30,000 rand now in your account, or up to 60,000 rand for emergencies. And that will help you that, suppose you lose your job, you can still be moving and doing things because you got reserves. Okay? He says, now you build that and build and save. Remember, you've paid off all your debts now, except the house. Now you're pushing all the money so that you can build and have 30,000 to 60,000 rand. If your salary is 10,000 rand. If your salary is 20,000 rand, obviously it will be 60,000 to 120,000 rand that you'll have in your bank account. And that is money that you're going to use to guard for your emergencies. Okay. I've already said that many times, that your emergencies are not somebody's emergencies. I've mentioned that many times. Okay. You don't take other people's emergencies and make them yours. It is their emergencies. They must sort their emergencies themselves. Are we together? And that's not being nasty. And you're not big. You must get that. That doesn't mean that you're a bad Christian when you're doing that. You're okay with God with that. Okay? And there is scriptures for that. We read it for you. Well, I'm not going to go back there. So if you don't know, then we can tell you that. And then thereafter, now you can go on investing in different areas for retirement, for all things that you want to do, and then you carry on investing, and also saving for children education. And then in this area also, you can also start looking at paying off your house quickly, around number 4. And then you can start doing it there at number 4, but you must also save for children education. Okay. And then you can use the TFSA, is tax-free savings account, that you can use to put money there, because when you get the interest, it doesn't get taxed. And then slowly, you are free now, and then you can now build wealth, and then you can also give. That is Dave Ramsey approach. But let us look and adapt it in our local situation in South Africa. That's American context, but let us look at locally what can work best for ourselves here. We can use the baby steps one, and then we make sure that we save 1 month's salary to start with. Or if it's 20,000 or more than 20,000, then you can stick to 20,000. If you're earning less than 20,000, just try and save up to 1 month's salary, so that you have as a reserve. So that when problems are, you do have a reserve there. Okay, that's what we are trying to do. And then to the issue of debt. All right. In our country, we have got a high level of debts. People are highly indebted in this country. We have told you that the debt level in this country, people spend 78 Nowadays it's gone down. It used to be about 78% of the money is paying debts, but now it has gone down. It's to about 65%. South Africans spend about 65% of their money paying debts on average. That's what is happening now. Okay, it used to be very, very high. So you must always push and follow the snowball effect and make sure that you get rid of the debt. Take the debt away so that you don't have a burden of debt. Okay? If you go there, then you can start now saving. After you see what stops most people from being able to save is they are choked in debt. So when you move debt away, you save. And then you are going to be saving regularly. And then you'll find that you're going to make more money. And then you are going to be free financially. So the key, kill the debts. The problem again with us in this country is that we believe that who can live without debt? We do ask, who can't live without debt? And somebody was telling me that it's impossible to live without debt. It is possible. You can live without debt. Who said you must live with? The Bible says in the book of Proverbs, we're going to read it later, 22 verse 7, he said the debt, the borrower is a slave of the lender, who can? Get rid of debt, then you're going to be able to save, you see. And then you can save for education and for retirement, and at the same time, you can be paying more to your bond to reduce the bond, And you keep that in sequence, 1, 2, 3, 4, you find that you're going to build wealth properly there. Okay. It requires you to be thoughtful about it and to keep it in your mind that this is what I want to do, to plan. Because most people don't even plan their expenses. If you read in the book of Luke, verse 14:28, it says, for which one of you, intending to build a tower, does not first sit down, does not sit down first and count the cost? That's in the Bible. The Bible tells us that before you get your money, before you even use it, please plan it. We'll talk about that later, We'll talk about that later. So, the problem that we have is a question that we need to ask ourselves. Why is it that people are failing to save? Why? Maybe I can open up for discussion here. Why do you think people are failing to save? Yes, Blair. Lack of discipline. You want to save, but you don't want to do it. Rondani? Why do you think people don't save? Inflation. Okay. Inflation. Inflation makes people not to save. No. But why is it that you don't know whereas you're working? How come do they become too much?
I've lost my thoughts.
No. You say the expenses are too much and these expenses are basic expenses. That's what you're
Yes.
trying to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's just say, for the purpose of this example, I earn 10,000 rands, and then I've got 2 children. I've got rent. I'm not working at vendor where I will wake up from my mother's house or from my own house that I'm not paying anything for. I've got rent. It doesn't matter where I stay, whether I stay here in Soweto or I stay somewhere else. I'm paying that rent. Let's just say 2,000 rands. I'm being very generous. 2,000 rand, and you've got school for your children, 2 children. Let's just say one is in primary and then the other one is in crash. You have to pay the crash. You don't have any way you can ship them, like like maybe my mother at vendor. I can't take my children. My mother is no longer alive. I have to stay with my children. I've got transport to go to work. I haven't even counted luxury there, or everything that I'm counting is a need. And I've got electricity. Let's just say I'm staying here in Meadowlands. I don't pay for water. I'm not saying that people don't pay for water here, but I'm just giving an example. I don't pay for water. Then there's electricity. Others can argue that even we don't pay electricity here. But the point I'm trying to make is that out of that 10,000 rand, I've already spent 5,000 rand. I haven't even touched food. I haven't even touched medical expenses. I know that children don't get sick every day, but the cost of living is too high, whereas the money that we're earning is not, it's too little.
What if I double your salary?
Sorry?
What if I double your salary? It's no longer 10,000, it's 20,000. You still tell me the same thing.
No, with teachings like this, I'm not going to say the same thing. This is the reason why we are attending this, is to be equipped, so that when we get money, we don't make mistakes.
Thank you. I got to. The thing is this. Rule number 1, you must never spend more than what you earn. Never. If you spend more than what you earn, it's a disaster already. How are you going to patch the gap? Rule number 1, never spend more than what you earn. Keep that in your mind all the time. Because once you spend more than what you earn, who's going to put in that shortfall? So we must spend less than what we earn. That's it. You try and work out on it. It's just a pity you were not present in the previous one. We had a case study that was addressing those kind of things. You know, you have to work your budget and fit in there. You know, if it means that, you know, you're going to eat a quarter in Archer every day, let it be, you know. Okay, let it be, you know. That is, you have to cut down. There's no way. You have to cut down, you know. But why? My question is still the same. Why people fail to save? I'm hearing that. I heard that one, what you said, Rhonda. You know, but why? People are still failing to save. James.
Uguti, we're supposed to save what we get. Tina besatu uti mauhola, you must use it. Indaba yokusave into efika manje nje ukuthi eshibonje. Ngathi mina i-fault yaba kuma parents wethu ukuthi awasifundisana.
Anybody wants to give me some? Why people want to failing to say? Well, you already said. I just want to hear others. Zanele wanted to say something.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Mina, I would like to say thank you so much for this. Is it a workshop or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, since I've started, I was a bad person before, very bad. I'm not saying now I'm okay, but I was very, very bad. But since I'm attending this, I have improved a lot. Because with us ladies, we like to live the life that you are not affording.
Okay.
Sometimes you want like to see people, like to see you as if you can do things, whereas you are not affording. For example, I will use the one at work. So you the other day when we were here that why don't you take a scarftin from the groceries that you buy?
Yeah.
Normally month end we buy the groceries. So we buy the groceries, everything, eggs, cheese, everything, whatever on your grocery, whereby even the cereals, whereby you can take those to work. Then we get to work, then you see somebody is eating something different. Then you take the money from your pocket, you buy those things. I can see the other ones, they even have those lunch box, the breakfast. When they see somebody eating something different, they drop that and then go and buy. And then that thing, it's ladies who are doing that. So if you can check, maybe like if you spend less at work for lunch, you'll spend 60 rands. And then that 60 rand, if you times it 5 days, how much is 60
300
rand times 5 per week?
300 rand. We'll help you carry.
And then per month, it's how much? Whereas you cook every night. So what I normally do, as I'm saying that, thanks for this workshop, because I've learned a lot. I was one of those who was doing that, saying that, hey, I don't want this. I have ate it too much. I'm buying this, only to find that when you count month end, you have spent 1.2 or 1,000 rands, of which that 1,000 rand you say you cannot save, but you have wasted it, whereas you're having food is at home. Then when you get at work, you use that money. So as I'm saying, I'm trying. And then the other thing, I've mentioned it before when I was here, that I'm having my car, my small car there. So I was using more on fuel. Then when I am going to work, I'm using a taxi, and then I spend less. So that's the other way that now I can save. Before I was saying, I can't save because I have to take care of my children's sister. The other sister, firstborn at home, is not working. So for schooling, I was assisting her. I was saying that I can't afford, but forgetting, or maybe I was not aware that I'm still wasting the money that I'm talking about, whereby we like to spend. If maybe you do a hairstyle, then you see somebody's having the other hairstyle, you go and do that hairstyle, even if you don't want the hairstyle. You see, those are the monies that you are wasting. Whereas, whereas those monies we can save.
Okay.
So that's what I can say, especially with us ladies. Now, I'm working with the girls, so they were competing with the iPhones. They bought the iPhones, so all of them, like, they want the iPhones, whereas they are going to pay those for those iPhones, where this is the money that you can save, because a phone is a phone. I'm sorry to say that my phone is very bad, but thanks God, here I like pictures. I like pictures. So thanks God, because I have sisters here at home with nice phone. I always ask them to take me pictures. After church, we took pictures. Then they sent those beautiful pictures with those iPhones. They sent to me.
Okay, no, thank you. Oh dear. You don't have to waste money on lunch because you don't have to have lunch every day at work. I don't normally have lunch at work. Neither breakfast. I don't even have breakfast. My wife will tell you, I just leave home and then I go to work. I don't have lunch. If I'm eating lunch at work, maybe there's some tablets that I need to take because I can't take tablets on an empty stomach, then I'll have something. But my routine is that there's no lunch at work. Then you save. Oh, okay, all right, okay. Okay, you wanted to say something? Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone, and my apologies for arriving late, but I was listening to the program on my way here. But in short, I think the reason why we cannot save is because we commit ourselves to more than we are earning.
Okay.
You receive a message to say you qualify for this credit card for this much, you go for it. You qualify for this loan, you go for it. So that is the reason why we cannot save. But I think with this workshop, I guess everybody will learn. And if I am to speak personally from what I've been experiencing ever since I started working, I'm one of those who've been receiving messages to say you qualify for credit card, you qualify for store card. And to be honest, I took all of those. I'm being honest, I took all of them, but I learned the hard way, but I managed to get out of all those. I managed to get out because it was not working for me. And I learned that I don't have to buy clothes by credit.
Yes.
I learned that. I also learned that if I have credit card, it doesn't mean that I have to go sit at a restaurant and pay with my credit card. So with credit card, I believe it's for something emergency, that you know that at the end of the day, you go and settle it so that it is available all the time you need it. So I've learned the hard way, but I'm glad that I managed to get out of it.
Okay.
At the moment, I was talking to my younger sister to say, you know what? It's not long that she started working. I said, please don't be like me. You are still young. Please do not do anything by credit. If it's credit, it has to be a good credit. You have to account for it. So if you take credit, you must take credit for something big that when you're paying it back, at least you smile, rather than not sleeping at all at night because you can't afford to pay it back. So yeah, I was one of them, but I've learned out. I'm not saying I'm okay, but with inflation and all of that, some of the things we don't afford. But I try to stay away. I try to tell myself that I am broke, and I am broke. I'm not going to get credit anywhere else.
That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you for those inputs. Those are quite valuable inputs. As an advice, don't buy food on credit, please. As an advice, don't buy food on credit. Simple things, the girls will be selling things here. Accountable, like I'm going to give you a month 10 rand. It's not a lot. But 10 is already 30 rands. You can get it, and it needs to be paid. Lend to food. Don't buy food on credit. Pay it cash. You see. We're so used to buying things on credit that we almost do credit for everything, but that's not right. Is that well? Okay, let's say okay. Oh, Prince, yeah, okay.
Oh no, I think the question was why people fail to save and try to be short. I think we don't have a clear vision. We don't have a goal.
Mm-hmm.
It's like now I get hit by a car, you give me rough money, 1 million. I never said I want a million.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to misuse it.
Yeah.
So, but if you know where you're going, what you're saving for, and you have a clear vision, then you will save because you know what you're working for.
Mm-hmm.
But why must I save if I don't want to save? I'm getting paid 10,000. You give me 30,000. I'm going to misuse the extra 20. I never said I wanted it. I never said I wanted to save because I don't have a clear goal. I think that's why we failed to save, because what am I saving for?
Yeah, it's true.
So I think we need to find that first.
The sad part, Prince, is that everybody knows that they need to save, but they don't do it. Most of the people, they know that. You see, some of the other ideas that I have here, the first one, I say the present bias. That is, people want to enjoy now rather than waiting. You want to spend what you have now for enjoyment, and you cannot wait. That's why people cannot save. You see, you want to go and buy things on loan, but you could have saved money and buy it cash. You see, and it's a behavior thing. It's not really an arithmetic or a mathematical thing. It's just a behavior thing, you see. And the second part, why people don't save is that no plan or budget. People don't have plans. They don't have a budget. Please have a budget. Write down every expenses, Well, I agree. You may not write down every expense, but the major expenses that you spend your money on, please know where your money is going on those. And if you want to save, look at where these other monies that you cannot account, where is it going? Budget, and a plan. That's why the book of Luke chapter 14 verse 28 is talking about that. A man who wants to build a tower, he must first sit down and see he has got enough material to build that particular tower. Financial fear, intimidation, lead to avoidance. People always intimidate you. Say, when I was saving, why can't you do this? Why can't you do that? Your money is going to be eaten away if it's in the bank. There are people who do that, who tell you that. Let's just use it and spend it, okay? And people, rob each other, and they behave in this obscure manner, The other point quickly is lifestyle inflation, That's what I was saying to Rondani. I say, you're earning 20,000, you're sort of okay with 20. We increase it to 30,000, you're happy. I just got an increase. 30,000. I'm fine. Okay. And now, where's my sister who was saying that they got messages? This is a promotion. You qualify for this, but I've got 30,000. I qualify for it. Then you go for it. In no time, you find that you are using the whole 30,000. But you've been okay with 20, but now you are using 30. We increase it to 50,000. You push it to 50,000. We increase it to 100,000. You push it there to 100,000. That's what people do. They push it there. You see, because they are changing their lifestyle. I always say that, in my previous employment, while I was in the mines, we promote a person. I've seen that. We promote a person. We write a person a letter, you're promoted. Before the letter is cold, she's got an installment for a new car. Oh. Before the letter is cold, because they want to keep up with the lifestyle inflation. Emotional spending. Some of the things that you buy is through emotion. It's not because you need them. If you think about it, you just buy through emotions. Because he's got it, I need to have it. I think I need it, then I'll buy it. You know, you didn't even plan for it. You just walk on the shop, you're seeing these things. You know, you say, oh, it could be nice. You buy it. But you don't really need it. You see? And people do that. Emotional spending. You know, to cope with feelings, to make yourself happy. You know? Let's go to the social comparison. Social comparison. You know, some people just spend to project an image to say, you know what, I'm within that group of people. You know, I belong to this class. You know, because somebody has bought a car, a Mercedes-Benz or a BMW, I need to go to buy a BMW also, so that I can belong, so that they can look at me, that I'm okay also. Really. Buy the things that you need. You don't, you know. And the debt trap. We get trapped in debt, and then because loans are easily available, and then and they advertise. Those guys who offer loans, they advertise. They even phone you. You know, I've get phone quite. Mr. Ramagwede, we have been looking at your account. You are such a good client for us, and we realize that you know you are missing golden opportunities from ourselves. I said, what is the opportunity? You qualify for credit card, you know, any amount that you want, you know, just tell us, and they will care. You immediately, though, you qualify for 20,000 rand. I said, really? They say, yes. Don't you want it? I said, no. Why not? I said, I know. I don't need credit anymore. And they're surprised. But 9 out of 10 people will say, yes. You see? Let's go to procrastination. Some people just say, I'll start next month. You know, next month. August, please, I'm starting it. Okay. All right. August come. Say, hey, man, you know, there's this and this that I need to pay. No, it's like what September. You see, that's what they do. Procrastinate. And they don't take into action. And that's why you know. And another aspect, you know, with us as black people, family pressure. Oh, black tax. You know, with no boundaries. I'll put it there. Black tax with no boundaries. Yes, we have to assist our people at home. We have to assist our people at home and everything. But we must have boundaries. You know, I had one little one that, you know, nephew, you know, phoned me and says, hey, uncle, you know, can you help me? I want a phone. I don't have a phone for school, work, whatever. I said, oh, yes, yeah, this one is a phone. I must do something, you know. But I want an iPhone. I said, I said, when I am not serious. I said, I just tell you, I say, you're not serious. You know, yes, I'm not saying you mustn't help, but there has to be boundaries. And you have to be open with people that I can only afford this, some of the things I cannot afford. Be honest, you know. Be honest with people, you know, at home and explain to them. You know, these are some of the things that are making people not being able to save. We already talked about this next slide. You know, if you are saving, the law of compound, a person who's saving 500 a month at the age of 25 and a person who's saving 1,000 rand years later, the one who benefits more is the one who's saving small for a longer period. You get it? So we need to start early to save. And we are wasting a lot of time not saving. We're wasting a lot of time not saving because of those things that I was talking about, you know, or procrastination. They are the ones that are causing us all these problems, you know. And not to say we don't know that we need to save. We know that. But we've got all these million reasons that are making us not to save. You see? So, but you look at this one, as I've already shown you, you can save money and have a lot of money. You know. All right. We need to turn it around. We cannot live like that. You agree with me? You cannot live like that. You cannot live as a person who doesn't save. Doesn't work. You know, it has to change. The mindset that you have got zero in your savings account, that has to change. Hello? You can't afford to have nothing in your savings account. That must change. We are in agreement on that one also. Yeah, it must change. It's not right. For you, you have been working. I mean, you've been working for 3-4 years and you're working. But in your account, there's nothing. How about? No, that's not right. You know. No, that's not right. That's not right. You know. And we need to turn it around. How do we turn it around? I've said it many times, you know. Let's look at the pay yourself first. All right. To turn it around, I've mentioned that in the past, J.D. Rockefeller, remember? One of the richest guy in America. He's passed on many, many years ago. And Rockefeller had a simple principle. When you get paid, take 10% and give it to the Lord, and 10% go and save. He's paying himself. 10% immediately goes to the Lord, and 10% save. And you have got time to enjoy your 80%. I mean 80%. 80% is distinction, by the way, it's cool. Not so. Yeah. And you've got time to enjoy your 80%. How do we do that? We must learn to do what? To pay ourselves first. That is, when I'm earning, take money, go and give. Take money, go and save. And then I'll worry about the rest. Is that difficult? Let's talk. Is that difficult? People don't. I'm not talking a lot of money. Just 10% go and give, 10% go and save, and you enjoy the 80%. Is that difficult? I mean, to 80%. Imagine 80%. It's a lot of money. 80% is a lot. If you earn 10,000 rand, it's 8,000 rand. That's for you to spend. If you 20,000, really, it's what, 16,000 for you to spend. Pay yourself first. Yeah, well, is there a question there at the back?
No, it is not difficult to take the 10% to save. The difficult part is not touching it throughout the month.
It's not what? I didn't get that one.
The difficult part is not touching it throughout the month.
Oh, not touching it throughout the month. So you put away 10%, you go and go and to get it to guy. No. No. You see, number two, for you, if you automatic the savings, and it must go where you can't take it out easily.
I have a question.
Yeah, question.
Is it
10% from gross or 10% from net?
Gross belongs to who? Gross amount, is it not yours?
And SARS.
No. Is it not yours? It's yours. People, let's be serious. Gross. Let's suppose your gross salary is 30,000, for example, and then after SARS has taken and the other things, that 30,000, is it not yours? Okay, let me teach you today. That 30,000 is yours. Huh? It's yours. It's just that, it has got other responsibility that it has to be taken care of. SARS is very clever. They take their money first, because if they take it last, you're not going to give them. Don't even worry about SARS. It's the law of the country. It has to happen. Tax has been there in biblical times. They talked to Jesus while he was there. Is it correct that we need to pay? People have been complaining about tax many years ago. So don't even complain about that. Why is given? Yeah. But that 30,000 before tax is yours. Yeah. SARS is just going there and take its own share from your money. They don't take when you don't have it. Can they take it? They only take it when you have it, because it's yours. You see? Hey, Modeng.
Ndikone kutosapota nepupezi re. Vachiri 30,000 ndi yawe. Uzinga muthu otangana naye uchiri ani ola vugaye. Angasiri after net ndi ola utori 30,000. Angadi yakubuzori andi ola 28 mara utume 30,000 ya uri ndi ola 30.
That's what they'll tell you.
Tenga is not loyal.
You go and apply for a job. We ask you, what were you earning there in your previous company? You don't tell us that my take home was what? You tell us that you are getting 30,000. You don't tell us the take home. That's what you do. Just that when we talk about giving and saving, people start coming with all these other things. So the point is that pay yourself first. Just as a rule of thumb, take 10% away, give to the Lord, 10% save. And to help you with these things, you can make it debit orders, automatic, so that it doesn't burden you to be able to just keep on transferring, because you might forget one day, and not save. All right? And now you've taken the money out and it has gone to the savings account, Angiti. And please don't touch it. Hello? Don't look at it and say, I'll pitch it at the end of the month. No, it won't happen. It won't happen. It won't happen. It's not going to happen. I can tell you. It won't happen. You see? So automate it. Automate it. Let it go away to a nice savings account. If it's a 32-day notice, you stay there. Put it away. That's number one. Now, make it automatic. When you decide once, not monthly, you just make it automatic. I've learned that also. Even my saving, they get deducted. Debit order for saving. Yeah. I don't have debit orders for loans, I went, it's fun. The saving going there. Oh, okay, because these things of loans, they are not good. I don't like them. So I stay away from them. Let's look at number 3. Write dated goals. Don't just say, I want to save more money. I want to save more. You must tell yourself that by December, I want to have 50,000. Okay? Depending on your salary. You say, I want to have 50,000 by December. Or I want to have 12,000 done by December. Okay? Or I want to have 30,000 by December. Depending on your salaries. And you give it. If you want 30,000 by December, that is 2,500 every month. 2.5. You put it by the end of the year, it's 30,000. And don't touch it. And I see there are some students, Master and Morango, they give you pocket money, whatever. If it's 500 rand, take 50 rand and put it away. 50 rand times 12 is 600 rand a year. Okay, you can see that. Automate it. Your account cannot just be in zero all the time. No. I call it. You must have proper goals that I want to have 50,000 or 40,000, whatever the amount. By this time, you give it time. And then you push yourself that you're going to save this. You put it yourself. The easier way is to do those two. Automate it. So that you don't feel it. You see. And another point number 4. Look at point number 4 there. Budget you must know where your money is going, people. You see, when you don't know where your money is going, you're going to be surprised because you're not going to know where it went. Okay? If you, let's suppose you get 100,000 rand and there's no plan for it. I'm telling you, you're going to spend it maybe in 3-4 months and we'll ask you, what did you do with 100,000 rand? Angsakumbula. Because things are not written down. So budget. Write things down. Nowadays is, phones, they've got apps that can help you budget even better. Budget. Know where your rent is going. Instead of being surprised where it went. You see. Budget. Each rent, give each rent a job before the month begins. Give each rent a job before the month begins. So that you mustn't arrive and then you give jobs, that are just coming here now, and the ones that you are planned off, they are not attended to. It doesn't work like that. And you don't have to start big. We'll look at point number 5. You don't have to start big. You can start small. You can start by saving 100 rand. We talk about 10% saving. Maybe our finances are not okay. Yes, Rondani was saying that, but you can squeeze 100 rand, Rondani. You can squeeze 100 rand. My famous example is 350, the one that Cyril gives people. All of us, we can do 350 a month. I've mentioned that, 350 a month in a year is 4,200. It's just 350. 350 a month in a year is 4,200. After 5 years, it's 21,000 rand. But 350. But if I ask, who has got 21,000 in your bank account now? I don't answer, but might find that they don't have it. But just start small. Even 100 rand. You know, that will build a habit. You see, the thing that we want is habit. You know, the habit is a real asset. Remember, we talked about habits the other day, you know. And you need to set some boundaries. Number 6, set kind boundaries. Decide what you can give to family guilt-free. Set boundaries. Somebody came to me, you know, he says, you know, can I have money? I want to borrow money, but you know, there's a funeral at home, you know, and you know, please, you know, I need to show myself in the film because there's a funeral at home. I said, who passed away? No, it's a son of Kulwami, you know, who passed away. Therefore, we need to. I said, a son of Kulwako? Yeah. Oh, okay. So it's not really a brother from the same father. He said, yeah. I said, but why you want to borrow for that? No, I'm to his phonoticides, Swambani, you know. I said, Swambani, you know. Set boundaries. You know, some of the things you're not going to be able to pay for, that comes from, you know, set boundaries. Set, you know, and once you get this going, you'll find that you're going to do very well, people. You're going to do very well. You see, when in the book of Proverbs, we have, you know, 22 verse 7, you know, we're, you know, the rich rule over the poor and the borrower is a slave to the lender. That's what happens, you know. If you don't set your boundaries, you end up borrowing and then you don't even know where your money has gone to. Let's go to number 3. Where to save and invest. Where must we now put our monies? That's the main one that we're going to be talking about. Where do we need to save and also to invest? That's climbing the ladder from the safest to the highest. I'll do the next slide and then we'll take a few minutes break and then we'll continue. Let's do this one here. Before you save, look at those golden rules that I've put across there. That is, you need to understand that risk and return travel together. If you are going to invest, to put your money in a risky product, the chances are that you can lose and also you can win big. You understand? So the higher the risk, the greater the return, or the greater the loss as well. You understand? So remember that, you know, don't go to the risky things. You know, you might find that you're going to burn your fingers. You know, somebody say, no, I've invested in this one, you know, it grew up and then I doubled my money. Well, but they don't tell you when they've lost. They keep quiet. Okay. You see? So you need to learn that risk and return travel together. The high returns with no risk. If you get some people say, there's no risk with this. Okay. You know that is a scam. You're going to win big. We're going to double your money, no risk. It's a scam. Run away from those ones. Don't put your money there. You're going to. Okay, what's the question?
If you can just, maybe just for everyone, if you can just give example of those risks that you talk about? Maybe, I think maybe like, yeah, risks.
Oh,
that
you
are-
know, this, what do you call it? One of them was a pilot. The pilot one, you know, pyramid scheme. Sorry, that's the name that I wanted. Yeah, you know, the pyramid scheme. You know, people say, I used to stay in Spreadview. We had one which was called Miracle 2000 there in Spreadview. People were coming from Botswana, coming to deposit money at Miracle 2000. You know, and you had people queuing there, you know, coming to deposit money. And I was not aware of this, that the people are doing that. I'm at work. And they say, hey, where do you live? I say, live in Spreadview. Oh, this is the man who say where money is being made. I say, oh. There were some of those pyramid scheme pulled together up in Limpopo. People put in their monies and gone. Yeah, gone. How does it work, a pyramid scheme? They'll create a pyramid scheme that say, you give us money, we're going to double it. And for the first few, they will really double it. They will do that. You know, and those who receive the double, they go and you know, they're going to going to talk about it. You know, and then when they come back, they don't come back with small money. They come in with big money, and that's when it goes wrong. Poof, gone. Too good to be true. Very risky. Match the tool to time. Money for 1 to 3 years stays safe. 10 plus can climb higher. You see, just understand that if you are investing in a bank, for example, it's safe for 1 to 3 years. You're not going to get a lot of returns from keeping money in a bank account. Banks, they pay you 1 or 2% interest. By the way, they don't pay a lot of interest. You know, even if you go to fixed deposit, they will, you know. So, yeah, you'll get. But anyway, we'll go to that one. But just remember that match the tool to the time. Decide how long are you going to invest. You know, have a vision. How long am I going to invest? If I'm going to take this, if I'm going to invest my money in the bank, for how long? If I'm going to the stock market, for how long? Okay, we'll talk about that, how long, when we proceed. Remember, diversify. Don't put everything in one place. Spread the risk, you see. Because if that one, you lose everything. Diversify is key. You know, don't put your eggs in one basket, you know. The other one, watch the fees and inflation. You know, when you ask to buy products like a bank, when a bank gives you loan, one of the things that they do, they'll charge interest. And there's another charge that they charge you, administration fee. You know it, yeah. You know, it's always admin free. It looks very innocent. It's like 50 rand, 80 rand. It's not a lot, but it's money. You know, you calculate those 80 rands, you know, a month, you know, 80 rands, they're going for them, you know. 80 rand a month for a year is 960 rand, eh? Gone. 960 from your money, you know. So you must look at the cost of where you are putting money. So if you are putting costs for buying the shares, for example, there's always a cost that you need to pay for. Brokerage fees, when you look at those costs. And if you're buying unit trusts, there's also a cost there. You know, people are investing for you. So you must also watch the cost that they're going to charge you. Like you open up a bank account and they'll say, okay, when you withdraw, we we charge you some withdrawals, remember? And when you deposit cash, they even charge you, they are very much unfair. You must watch those costs, you see? And some banks will charge you the cost once a month. They say it's 200 Rand, for example, or 150. And Capitec doesn't do that, remember? But Capitec is very clever. It charges every time when you withdraw, when you do that, so that you don't see it. Yeah. You know that? It's basically the same or even more, but they are very smart. They charge you every day because it's like 1 Rand, it's not too bad, But when they add up, there's a lot of money. Okay. Use tax-free wrapper first. South African government, think is Minister Ntatanene, while he was still a Minister of Finance, he introduced the tax-free saving investment. And that is, you are allowed to invest about 46,000 Rand a year in a tax-free, that one. That means that the money that you invest, you deposit in a bank account for tax-free, as the name say, tax-free. When you get interest, it's not going to be taxed. And you can invest a year 46,000 Rand, and then up to 500,000 by the time when you retire, a cap. So you look at those instruments that you don't have to be penalized, by the taxman also. Okay, let's stop here. Let's go and have some refreshments for 15 minutes, and then we'll resume again at 4 o'clock. Then we'll go to the ladder, that ladder at the glance. Thank you.
Limnadi mileloka kuyelo wangifelana likwele izenia ikamali kajesu ujesu alimnadipo ujesu imijalobo ujesu kizagulisho namajena pagate ujesu enofeliwa owazithwa izonoza oseketile uvalolwa iyakuthanda ujesu alimnadipo ujesu imijalobo ujesu izagulisho amajena phakade ingekathalithekwa ilizwa lelo kamala liketiziyebezinya elomsindisi ujesu alimnadipo ujesu imijalobo ujesu izagulisho namajena phakade alikoneliyodwaka ezweni nomalabaya siyeliboke songena elithethikajesu ujesu alimnadipo ujesu imijalobo ujesu izagulisho amajena phakade ujesu alimnadipo ujesu imijalobo ujesu izagulisho amajena phakade. Hage silunge, hage silunge, hage silunge, hage silunge, kuba singa, singa bantwana bakhe, kuba singa, singa bantwana bakhe, hage silunge, hage silunge, hage silunge, hage silunge, kuba singa, singa bantwana bakhe, kuba singa, singa bantwana bakhe. There is beyond years of blue. At God concealed of human sight, heating the skies with heavenly hue, and framed the world with his great mind. There is a God, He is alive, in Him we live, and we survive from dust of God, created man. He is a God, that great I am. There was a long, long time ago, whose voice the prophets heard. He is that God that we should know, who speaks from His inspired word. There is a God, He's alive, in Him we live, and we survive from dust of God, created man. He's a God, the great I am. Secure this life from mortal man. God holds the gem within His hand. Though men may search, they cannot find, for God alone does understand. There is a God, He's alive, in Him we live, and we survive from dust of God, created man. He's a God, the great I am. Our God who stand upon a tree, and life was willing there to give, that He from sin might set men free, and evermore could live. There is a God, He's alive, in Him we live, and we survive from dust of God, created man. He's a God, the great I am. Namhlangi yaqhutshu moya, thandaza siyami, ngiyacela mangihambe kanye nawe Nkosi yami, kanye nawe Nkosi yami, kanye nawe Nkosi yami, angihambi imihla yonke kanye nawe Nkosi yami, angifune yamivela ayiphelano yami, angihambe mina kodwa kanye nawe Nkosi yami, kanye nawe Nkosi yami, kanye nawe Nkosi yami, angihambi imihla yonke kanye nawe Nkosi yami, angihambi
Okay. Now we are going to be going more into details now on where to save and to invest. We have talked about the general golden rules of any product that we're going to be looking at. There are a number of areas where people can save or invest their money or your money. Here on this table that I've given you, the bottom part, this is the area where it is low risk. The chances of you losing your money is very low. And as we climb up, the risk becomes more higher and higher until you go up to the last area, which is called the derivatives, which is very high risk and speculation. But we are going to talk all of them, and I'm going to explain what is it and where you need to be looking at when you are investing. The first layer is the savings and the deposits. Here we are looking at your normal savings account and your 32-day notice. They are falling here, and also your fixed deposits will fall here in that bottom category. You're putting your money there. On the normal savings account, you'll get 2 or 3%. And if you take away inflation on that, so you're actually not making any money if you want your money to grow. Then you try and maybe do a 32-day notice, which gives a better interest. Yeah, we take out inflation, you'll probably make maybe 1 or 2% extra. You know, that's not really enough. Even the fixed deposits, you know, they don't really give you much when you cater for inflation as well. So just remember that. Okay. And the next category will be the RSA retail bonds, which are very low risk. I'm going to explain them a little bit later on that. And also, and income funds, which are low risk. So all those three, I'm going to be explaining them in the next slide so that you can attend, look at them. You know, you can put in money there, you know, your money is safe, you'll get some interest, you know, it'll grow, but it's not going to grow in a very marvelous way, but you are not going to waste money. It's going to grow. Okay. Let's look at the low risk one, savings and the notice deposits and the fixed deposit. So what are these instruments? As I already said, you are putting money in your bank savings account, and sometimes you do have a money market account. The banks will have a what they call a money market account, where they offer you a good interest rate on a money market account. If I remember, with the Standard Bank, they want you to deposit a minimum of 100,000 rand, and they can give you an interest rate of about 7.5 to 8% on a money market account. And you can even put 1 million or even 10 million if you've got the money, and then you get 7%, 7.5 or 8%. So if you put in a money market account and you put 100,000, it means that at the end of the year you'll get an interest of 7,500. Okay. And if you put in 1 million, you know, of course, it's going to be 75,000 rand in a year, money market account. And the same thing will happen to the fixed deposit. You know, all these are good because your money is accessible. In a savings account, the money is accessible. In a money market account, the money is accessible. In a 32-day notice, you know that you need to give a notice and wait for 32 days. And fixed deposit, depending on the term, you can do fixed for 3 or 6 months or even a year or 24 months. Some even 5 years, they do that, you know. What a person needs to do when you're investing in these products is that you must look at the interest rates and the notice periods that you need to be putting money there, and the notice that you need to give before you can get the money, because you can lock the money in there and you've got an emergency, but now you can't get the money out. And if some banks will say, no, we are not going to give it to you. Or some will say, we'll give it to you, but with penalties. So you don't want that. You see, you know, you need to be very careful. And you need to look which one has got tax exemption, you know. And the only account that has got tax exemption will only be your tax-free savings account. Remember we mentioned it? If you put that one, wherever interest that you're going to get, it's not going to be taxed. It's just that they want you to deposit only 46,000 rand a year, and that's it. You know, so you can't really deposit much. It's about 3,600 or so per month that you need to be depositing there. Low risk, you sleep well where your money is deposited. The next category is what they call the RSA retail bonds. Okay, what are they? Government from time to time needs money, and they do borrow money from the public. When the government is borrowing money from the public, you and me, they issue what they call bonds. And they'll say, we want to raise, say, 10 billion rand, and we are selling the bonds to you at a denomination of maybe 1,000 rand. So you invest in those bonds, and they will guarantee you that they are going to give you an interest rate of, say, 7.5 or 8.5 per year. And normally they pay the interest rate twice a year. So if you deposited, say, 10,000 rand, and then the interest rate is 7.5, so you are going to get 750 rand. Okay, that's 7.5 into 750 rand. But they're not going to give you 750 rand at once. They will give you at 375 rand and 375 rand twice a year to get, because you've given them the money. There are two types of bonds. There are those that they call the fixed interest rate bonds, and there are also the other ones that they call the inflation-linked bond. You know, the fixed one, it means that you put in your money, say 100,000 rand, they are going to pay you 7,000 rand twice a year, 3,775. They'll keep on paying it every year as long as the money is still with them there. The inflation-linked one, they've worked it in such a way that when the inflation goes up, they increase the money that you are going to give you. And when the inflation goes down, they'll also lower the money in line with the inflation. You see, that they want to compensate you, that you should not feel hard done. Your money is now working, it's no longer able to buy for more things because of high inflation rate, you see. So they do have those two types that they give it to you. But they are very safe because it's government that is issuing them, and then the government is going to pay you the money. When they issue these bonds, they list them at the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. You know, you can buy through the government, but they are listed on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. Some municipalities as well, Joburg municipality, they do issue bonds as well. Called Josie Bond. You might have heard of it. Josie Bond. Have you heard of a Josie Bond? Yeah, they'll say Josie Bond. Then you can also invest in the municipality of Johannesburg. I haven't heard of Tshwane doing it, but I know of Durban, eThekwini, and Cape Town. They've done that in the past. When they do that, they will go and list them in the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. You know, very low risk. You can put in your money there. You know, you can look at SA retail bonds in your internet, and then you can see, you know, what is it at play, and then you can invest. The RSA bond is controlled by the Reserve Bank, not there, by Treasury, Department of Finance, Treasury in Pretoria. That's what they do. Money is committed for the term, interest is taxable, and then you pay at the minimum. I know this used to be 1,000 rand. So another aspect is what they called income funds. Okay. Income funds are like unit trusts. What is a unit trust? In the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, you do have got companies that are listed. Your FNB is listed there, your Standard Bank is listed there, Capitec is listed there, Anglo American, you know, they call them Valterra, Anglo Gold, you know, all these companies, they are listed in the stock exchange. When you can go and buy one share, a share from, say, MTN, or a share from, say, or shares from Vodacom. But because you may not have the knowledge of which share to buy and which one is going to grow, you might buy something that doesn't grow, and then you're not going to win. So there are people who have come up with what they call unit trusts. That is, they go and collect money from a lot of people, and they don't only invest in one company only. They invest in number of companies, spreading the risks. So you can go in there and buy a portion of that unit, okay? And in that portion of unit, you are buying a spread of all the companies that they've got. And that, you'll find that it will tend to grow well on the shares. But also on the bonds themselves, these guys, they can buy from different bonds. They can take the bonds from Eskom, they can take bonds from Johannesburg, bonds from the government, also bonds from Cape Town, and other major entities that can issue bonds like that, or other companies that can issue bonds. And they can go and buy a number of these, and they club them together. And then you can buy a portion from there, which include those many entities that are there. And that's what we call then income funds. But they are based on companies that only give interest. That will only pay you interest, not dividends, interest. Okay, you together with that one. Okay, that's what they will do. It's low risk, you know, and the returns can be very good. You can get 7, sometimes 6% returns on that, you know, which is not bad. 6.5, 6.6% after tax and everything returns. You can get good returns from these ones, you know. But before you invest on this, read the fact sheets of this product that you want to buy. The yield, that is the profit. The risk rating, whether is it risky or not. You know, you don't want to buy a bond from an entity that you think that is going to collapse. You know, I don't know. If you go and buy a bond from a municipality that is somewhere in the Bundu and it's not making money, you lose all your money. So you don't go there, you see. But as I said, you know, you find that the municipalities that do that, they are big municipalities and the government. So, but one key thing that you need to look at is the fees, because all this investment, when you start here, when people are managing them for you, they charge you a fee. You know, they do it for a fee. It can be 2%, it can be 3% sometimes of the value of your investment. You know, you might think that it's not a lot, but if you've got 1,000 rand and they take 3%, you know, it's like 30 rand. It's not too bad. But 30 rand, you know, it's being taken over a period of time. It's a lot of money. So you must also think about the cost associated with that if you are investing in these products. Okay, are we together? Any questions so far before we proceed? No. Okay, fine. Now let's go on. So these are the low risk ones. They are lower risk. Let's put them the wrong lower risk one. So let's go to, and one thing about the low risk one is that they don't grow as fast as you like them to see growing, you know, but they do grow, you see, because it's low risk, you know. So now you go on, you're in your quest for investment, you go to the medium risks ones where you can see now an element of growth. We do have a category here. We do have the first one is property. Okay. You can have property as a person, and then you rent it out and you're managing it yourself. And then people will be paying a rent, and then you getting the income. After you pay the rent, you'll pay the rates yourself, and then you can get profit from that. It's medium risk because maybe the tenants don't pay or they vandalize the property. Okay, and then they don't look after it, and then you find that you are spending more money in repairs and things like that. You see, that is when you yourself has got a residential property that you are leasing out. Okay, and I mean in the township you find people putting rooms on the back rooms there and making sure that people rent the rooms and they pay them whatever. You know, in location, you know, there's not even paying for electricity and water. You know, so you must also look at those risks as well, because one day, that free lunch is gonna disappear. By the way, it's not going to last forever. I can guarantee you, it's gonna go away. That free lunch. Okay. Some people will go and take a bond and buy a property to rent out. There's nothing wrong with that. Taking a loan. You heard me saying that, away from debt, because you are not the person who's financing the bond. It's the tenants who are financing the bond. But you must do your calculations that I'm leasing out this property. Is it going to give me enough money that I can pay for the bond and I still have some profit as well? You see, that's what you need to do, those calculations, you see. And then you'll be paying the bond. The beauty about it is that you'll be paying the bond. The payment of the bond is fixed. You know, it doesn't grow for the next 10, 20 years, all right? Whereas the property rental, tenants, you can increase the rent after years, whatever, and then you'll start realizing the cash that you're going to get. And that will be a good investment that is giving you money on a regular interval. You see, that is a good way, because money is coming to you rather you taking money away from you. All right. We must be people who are clever, savvy, that we must allow money to come to us rather than I'll get money out. You know, because you're getting money out, you are making other people rich when you are poor. You know, that's not right. Okay. So that is the properties. So on the other leg of properties, you might say yourself that, you know, this thing of having a property myself and rent it out, or myself, it's not good for me. I can't do it. There is what they call, there at the bottom, REIT, that is Real Estate Investment Trust. Okay. These are listed in the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, which are companies that deals with properties. These are companies like Redefine, Growth Point, Resilient, Hyprop, you know, those companies, you know, they are dealing with properties, and they tend to offer better returns. And it's good for you because you don't have to be running with a tenant who doesn't pay. You know, you let other people do that for you, and then you can get you good returns. The REIT, they offer better returns and they grow well. It's just that during the time of COVID, when people were working from home and then the offices were not being rented, they went down a knock. Most of these companies, not to say they went bankrupt, but they could feel the pressure. But when you look at the market nowadays, they are now going up. They are now in a very, very sound footing, most of these guys. And then they are starting to make money again. You see, those are the REIT. You can check on the newspaper, on the share, on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. You can see a list of these real estate investment trusts that you can there. You avoid being a landlord in that one. Okay. The next high is low risk, also to high risk. These are the unit trusts. As I've said, it's a managed basket of shares, bonds, and cash, you know. And then immediately when you buy on those, you get instant diversification. You are not locked up with one company, because you are buying a group of companies, okay, in a unit trust. One thing that you need to check but on the unit trust is that the fees, the administration fees tend to be higher on unit trusts. In the US, they call them mutual funds. In South Africa, we call them unit trust as well. Okay, yeah, okay. There are different funds that are available. You find that some of the funds are more of general in nature. couple of years ago, many years ago, there used to be a good one from Old Mutual, which was called Old Mutual Investors Fund. It was very general and it was growing very nicely. And I wanted to put some money on it the other day. They told me, no, we don't accept money anymore from people. It's matured. It's only growing for its people. You know, those who went in first, they are just growing for those people. They don't want any more for it. And it has been doing very well there. There are some companies that that have got products that you can invest unit trust. The likes of Investec, they've got products that you can invest in unit trust. The likes of Allen Gray, products that you can invest unit trust. Sanlam also, they've got good ones, and there are many. Old Mutual also got some of them as well. And Momentum, they've got unit trust that you can invest from them. Okay, and the beauty about them is that you are diversifying immediately, and then you are having an access into the Johannesburg Stock Exchange immediately, you see. And some of them, they also invest out offshore, where you can get investment in companies like Amazon, for example. George Bezos, big company, Apple, you know, can invest in Microsoft, and Elon Musk wants SpaceX and Tesla. Those are very strong shares in the US, you know, and people are investing on them. They're making very good money on it, you know. I was checking the share price of Elon Musk SpaceX, going for $150 per share. That's quite a lot. You know, if you're going to buy 10 of them, you have to pay $1,500. $1,500 is how much? You know, it's about 25,000 rand. You know, just for 10. Okay. So the unit trust. You need to know which one. There are commodity one, there are industrial ones, there are general ones. Check them out. Okay. The other tier is what we call ETFs. ETFs are similar to unit trusts. Okay. It's just that the ETFs have been listed in the stock exchange, and the cost of investing on the ETFs is less than on unit trust. Okay. With the ETFs, they've just grouped the shares. They just took a couple of shares and they grouped them together, and then they list them in the stock exchange. So you are buying an index, you are buying a portion of each of those in the ETF, and they allow that group of them to grow together, to grow or to come down. You see, it's not actively being managed because it has been selected already. You get what I'm saying? They don't actively manage it. They just select this is what is in there and they put it there. Whereas on the unit trust, the managers will say, this share is not doing well. Yeah, let's remove it. Let's sell it and go and get replaced with another one. That one is like, you know, we're exposing ourselves too much on this one. Let's reduce our exposure. There's this human element that is being catered for, and then you need to pay. That's why you need to pay more for that. So ETFs are good. They're cheaper, and they trade like shares, and usually much cheaper than active funds, as I've said that, you know. So you need to know which index you are tracking. You might say, I want to be tracking the index that deals with properties. Index, you want a group of those shares that deal with properties. Or you say you want to track the group of shares that deal with financial services, banks, okay? Or you want commodities, the mining ones, gold, platinum and them, whatever. Or the industrial ones, you understand? And you must know which one you are tracking, you know, and then when you know which one you are tracking and which one you want to participate, then you go and buy it. Is available on the stock exchange as well. There is a common one, which is Citrix 40. That is the top 40 shares that are listed in the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. You know, they are available. You can buy them directly on a Satrix platform, and then you can invest on them. You are just buying an average of the top 40 shares in the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. What do we mean top 40 shares? By their market capitalization. What is market capitalization? By their value. You see, for example, I don't know who was asking me the other day, I can't remember. You know, you look at the share price of Capitec, it's about 4,000 rand per share. You know, look at the share price of Standard Bank, it's about 340 rand a share. But does it mean that Capitec is much bigger than Standard Bank? No. You know, it's just that Capitec issued less shares, you know, and Standard Bank has got more shares, you know. But the value of those companies is already 500 and something billion, both of them. 500 something billion, 500 something billion. I don't have the correct figures, you see. So all those top 40 shares in the JSE, they make the Satrix 40, you know, which you can buy it as an investment, you see. With the ETFs, you can also buy the local ones and also buy the offshore ones outside the country as well. If you go to the Satrix platform, Satrix, S-A-T-R-I-X, Satrix, okay? If you go to that website, you can look at what you can buy locally and also internationally, you know. The beauty about the Satrix and all this, if you are buying them here in the ETFs and the unit trust, is that you can deposit small amounts. You can deposit 500 rand a month, you know, or 1,000 rand a month, you see. You know, it is allowed to do that, you know. So you can put away, say, 300, normally they want 500 rand, some, you know, can put away 500 rand a month all the time, you see, and then let it go. And then you buy those on a monthly basis, you know. You can buy 3, 10, 10, but if you're buying every month, you know, after a year, you've got so many. After 10 years, you've got a lot. After 10, 20 years, you've got a lot. And they will be growing in value as well. Okay. All right. These are the three aspects. And there's a lot of growth, because the growth that you get here is generally more than 6%. And it can go as high as 10, 15, even 16% in some of this per year. But you get real growth. If you are getting a growth of about, say, 11% average per annum, that's good. That's good growth. That's good growth. You know, it will make your money grow very, very fast. Any question on this one? Take note of this. You know, we'll give you the yes, Bro James. It 500 rand minimum. Most of them they want 500 rand minimum, but some of them they might ask you to put in a lump sum of say 1,000 or 2,000 rand, but a monthly you go for 500 rand. That's what I've seen. Most of them is 500 rand. You can look for the ones
short term or long term.
Long term. You can do short term, but remember, when you are in this area now, short term is not good. In this area, you need to be looking long term. Maybe let's go back. Let's go back. Good. It's good that you mentioned that, James. Let's look at this one. If you're investing here on the banks, you should be looking at about 1, 2, 3 years horizon. You know, that is, you are keeping money for a short time, which you are going to be using. Okay, maybe 5 years maximum. But if you want to do real investment, you must look 10 years and above. Don't go short term. Okay, so you must be willing to commit that you're going to put away that 500 rand for at least 8, 9, 10 years, putting it away, or even more. Why? Because you are buying things that are linked to the market, Johannesburg Stock Exchange. And the market sometimes will go down and sometimes will go up. Okay. Sometimes will go down and sometimes will go up. You see? I watch a share of Sivanye. It's a platinum company. Why I watch it? Because I work in the platinum industry. I could see what's happening. You know, it was 26 rand, and then it went to 80 rand. Okay? And then where is it now? 35 rand. Gone down. So if you've invested in that share for a year, you're crying now because you missed the 80 rand. You understand? But you need to allow it to grow for 10 years. You see? So investing in this area that we were talking about, let me go again. Investing in this area here, you must be willing to go long term. You must be willing to go long term, not short term. 10 years at least, to allow the market fluctuation. But at the end of the day, you'll get results. And you need to have a good heart, because you might be looking at the value of things that you've invested, you know, and then they've grown. You're putting 10,000 in, and now your 10,000 is 20,000. And Donald Trump decided to go and fight with Iraq, and everything just collapsed. Now you're fainting. You say, "Ah!" You get panic and then you sell. Don't. You know, when the price is low, you don't sell. Hey? When the price is low, you don't sell. You go and buy more. Hello. Isn't that we must buy when the price is low so that when it goes up, we get more money? Hey, so when the price is low, you sell. What are you doing? You sell when it's high. Don't sell when it's low. You know. When the price is low, you go and buy. You don't sell. You buy more. Okay. You wanted to ask a question? Takwani?
It's been answered.
It has been answered. Okay. Manyache?
The money. Because, for example, as you are saying that if Trump goes and fight Iraq, the shares go down. Let's just say I bought the shares from Unit Trust.
Yeah.
And let's just say I put 10,000 rand. Is it safe that I do have 10,000 rand? Let's just say even if the shares goes down.
Yeah, when the shares go down, because the Unit Trust, they buy a portion of shares and they club them together. So if the majority of the shares are going down, the whole Unit Trust will go down as well.
So that they are going. So the 10,000, there is a chance that the 10,000 that I put can be less.
It can go down even to 5,000, my friend.
Thank you.
It can go down even to 5,000. You understand? And that is why it is for long term. Because the law is always the same. What goes down will go what? Will go up. You see? Yes?
But that investment for if there is a dividend, if I can raise that money, when that time is coming, it means the money that I deposit, I raise it because I received the dividend.
Yes, okay. That's another. Thank you for that. The other thing, when you are buying all these ones here, remember we said that on the other products, you are going to get interest. Let's go back here. On these ones, you are going to get interest being paid to you. On these ones now, when the shares make a profit, you know, they declare dividends, profits, you know. The share might be down, or because or what really drives the price of the share is sentiments, it's feelings. You know, it's not really that the share is not value. You know, I mean, I saw Sasol share price sitting at 600 some time ago. Now Sasol is sitting at 160 rand. Of course, they had a bad spell. You know, they were making a loss. That's why it came down. But it's sentiment. It's what the market sees, what the buyers sees about the company. You know, and then that is why will determine the price. Not necessarily whether the company is making profit or not. You see, I find that the share price is down, but the company gives you a good dividend, profit. And the dividends, they normally pay them every year. Some company will pay twice a year, and some will decide to pay once a year, which is profits. So in a unit trust, when the dividends are paid, the unit trust company take the dividends and invest them again. They go and buy the units again for you. You understand? You know, they buy more units for you when the dividends are paid. Okay. And all the ETFs is the same thing. When the profits are there, you can go and buy again. Buy more units also. Okay. So even if you are investing on an individual basis, when the company gives you dividend, don't chow the dividend. Invest it again. Ah la la. Ah la la. Yeah. I know when they announce dividends, you know, people are rubbing their hands. Yeah, figure man. Yes. Later, Mamjo. You get it, you know. Any other question? It's good that you ask question. Of course, you are reminding me so that I need to explain some more of these things as well. It's very important that you know these things and that you learn to invest. You know, it's a way to go in this area. You know, I'll advise that you need to be looking at that as well. It's a way to go, but for long term. Okay, not for 2 weeks. And you know, or a year also. No, we are talking about 10 years and above the long term, you see, so that you can take out the shock of the price going up and down. Okay, let's go to the next level. So now you as a person, you can say, you know what, I'm clever. I don't want anybody to do it for me. I'm going to buy shares by myself. Nothing wrong with that. All what you need to do is to open up an account with the banks or the companies that offer these services of broking, of selling, of creating a platform for you where you can buy and sell the shares. Most banks have got that platform where you can buy shares on using their platform. And there is easy equity also is available where people can register on easy equity. You deposit money there and then you are able to go and buy shares on your own. Okay, you know, and then when dividends are paid, they'll put it in your account there with the easy equity, and then you can withdraw it if you want to. Or when you decide to sell the share, you can sell the share and then you can withdraw the money. One thing about the shares, when you buy the shares and you decide to sell them, there's a waiting period for you to get money. Normally it's about a week or so before you can get your money after the sale of the share. But you are not buying shares for selling now. You're going to invest in a long term. I guess you see. How many shares can you buy you know, in the past, they used to say you must buy at least 100 shares. But now you can buy 2, 3 shares depending on the money that you have. It's just that when you got fewer shares when you buy, the charges tend to be higher, you know, rather than when you got more shares. So just bear in mind that there are charges, you know, that you need, brokerage fees that you need to pay when you're buying the shares. You know, there you're on your own. That's why it's high risk. You know, you need to buy share in individual company. A great company can grow and pay dividends, but picking winners is generally very hard. And a single share can collapse as well. You know, the guys who bought Sasol at 600 Rand, they're not very happy now when it's sitting at 160. They're not very happy. They're crying. You know, and it's going to take time, you see. But the risk is high. So that's the risk that you pay, you know. So you need to be knowing your stuff. Read about that share you bought, understanding the value of that share. And also don't just buy one, buy more on the other side. You know, most people are better served by ETFs, exchange traded funds. We're talking about them, you see, you know, so look at those ones, you know. Okay. Before I go to the higher risk one. So with these kind of things, you can invest and put money, and after maybe 7, 8 years, you can have R1 million in your bank. Yeah. If you got money and you can put away 5,000 a month, after 10 years, if it's invested properly, you're doing it every month. After 10 years, you should have at least R1 million in the bank. That is without taking. Without taking. And most people can do that. But they choose not to do it. You know, when they see 600,000, they say, there will be a story. My car is old, man. I need to fix this. You know, I'm better off with a new one. This new one, I need to get. You know, I'm better. There's always the stories that come with. We always invent ways of spending money. You see, you know. So that's what you just don't forget that. You know, but consistency is the key. Consistency. Don't break it. You know. The last part here is what we call derivatives. These are very high risk, and I'll advise you not even to go there. Okay, what are derivatives? Suppose you got a share of MTN, and the share of MTN is going at a price of, say, 200 Rand per share. And you don't have money now, okay, to buy. Let's suppose you want to buy 1,000 MTN shares. That was 200,000 Rand that you need to spend to buy them. But you don't have 200,000 now. But you know that you are going to have it in the future. Okay? So you can go and buy a derivative. That is, you go and buy what they call a call option. You say you want to buy MTN at a price of 200 Rand. But I'm not buying the share. I'm just buying the opportunity. So that you must keep the price for me at 200 Rand. Even if it goes up, I'm going to pay 200 Rand. You understand? Okay? So you go and pay a small amount of money, say 20,000 Rand for that. So you've bought in a call option. So if MTN goes up, you make money. Okay? You make money because it's gone up, because you are going to buy it at a low price. All right. If MTN goes down, you're crying. You understand? You're crying. So And the opposite is also true. Say, suppose you are holding 1,000 of MTN shares, and the price of the MTN shares is sitting at 200 Rand. And you say, you know what? I want to sell my MTN share in the future, but I want to sell them at 2,000. So if the price goes down, you still sell them for 2,000. You're not going to sell them for 180 Rand. Okay, you understand? You know, so that is what they call a put option, sell option. You buy that. But if the price goes up, you're crying. If the price goes down, you're smiling. Those are derivatives. And they are highly volatile. Okay. Let me tell you a simple example, you understand it. We do have a war in Iraq and America. Iran and America. Immediately, the oil price was sitting at, before the war started, the oil price was sitting at about $65, $68 per barrel. That's where the oil price was. Immediately as the war started, the oil price went up $80, $90, sometimes even to $103 per barrel. It became more expensive. Okay? President Trump will say, we are very close to signing a deal with Iraq. You've heard him saying that? And then when he says that, the price of oil goes down. Okay? When he says that, the price of oil goes down. Yeah, these Iranians, they're stubborn, you know, we need to bomb them again. You know, they don't listen. Now the price goes up. I was talking to another guy, I say, you know, Trump is not stupid. He's very clever, you know. I say, I bet he's playing on this market. I bet. We're going to attack Iran again. The price goes up. All right? He has put in a call option. All right? He's making money when the price goes up. And then he sells those options. He pocket. He's, these people. No. We have closed the deal now. It's very positive news, you know, that my advisors have been telling me that it's just one little hurdle that is there, but we are going to have a deal very, very soon. I promise you, the price goes down. He goes and buy. Okay. But this is very risky, you know. Don't go there, you know. CFDs is contracts for difference. You are buying for different stuff, you know. Don't even go there. I don't advise you to do that. That's speculating. That's playing lotto there, by the way. Okay.
Sorry, a question.
Yeah.
If you are able to touch base on cryptocurrency.
Oh, cryptocurrencies. People have come up with cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, and there are a number of them that are being sold. If you go to a website called Kitco, kitco.com, you know, they will show you the price of metals and also the number of cryptocurrencies that are there that are being sold. They are used in most cases to exchange, to buy, you know, and the trick for them is that they say that they've issued a limited amount of those cryptocurrencies. They are not always increasing. That is why, you know, when the demand for them is high, their prices will go up. And when the demand is slow, when there are more sellers, the prices will go down. They are saying that the supply of those things is limited. And that is why the price can go up and down, and then you can make money out of it. I don't understand cryptocurrencies very well. I don't even go there myself. Because one thing that when you need to learn when you invest, you must invest on things that you understand. Don't invest on things that you don't understand. You're going to burn your fingers. You see, those ones that I'm telling you, they are very common. They are available. You know, you can read and understand that. But if you want to take a chance, you can go and buy some cryptocurrency if you got some money, and you see if you can make money on it. You know, but there's no value on it. You know, that's what I mean. There's no like gold. You know, if you're buying gold, you know, it does got an underlying value. It's just a paperless exercise. Yes, that one.
Why is it that the high risk ones tend to be the ones that trend the most instead of the lower risk ones?
Because the high risk ones, if you make a killing, you're going to make it well. There are people who do forex trading. Remember forex? Don't sleep at night. They are doing forex trading. You know, and they think that they are going to make money. You need to be a guy like George Soros. George Soros is a master of forex. You know, he bet against the British pound, and then he make way over 800 million pounds in 2 days. You know, George Soros. But he also bet against the German mark before they went to the euro, and he lost a lot of money there. Also, more than 800. Okay. You know, that's why you're buying on the forex. He was playing forex. You know, there was a guy called Nick Gleason. You might have heard it. There was a bank called Baring Bank in the UK. It collapsed because a guy was playing forex. And then he couldn't cover himself. He couldn't cover. You know, he kept on trying to put more money so that he can change these options things. You know, and then the currency things. And then he collapsed the bank. Bust. So those are highly risk products. And the higher the risk, you can get a lot of money or you can lose it all. So to the derivatives that I was talking about, they are highly risky. You can make a lot of money. Like I think Mr. Trump is making a lot of money, you know, I think I might be wrong, you know, or lose a lot of money. You see. Must be careful on this one. Okay, let's quickly talk about the tax-free savings account. We have 46,000 rand per annum, and in a lifetime is 500,000. And then if you own more than this, they are going to penalize you by 40%. So you need to know the limits, you see. So let us look at the unit trust versus the ETFs, remember? Usually actively managed, usually tracks the index. Price once a day, trades all the time. Cost more, usually much cheaper. A manager tries to beat the market. Low fees compound to more wealth. Those are two ETFs. You see, that's what you need to remember there. Okay. Give a portion to a 7 and also an 8 to an 8. For thou knowest not what evil shall be upon on earth. That is, you must be saving. Let's go to the last one. Value of professional advisors. You need to be looking for professional advice if you're going to this. And if it's an advisor, you know, you must check if this person is licensed. It's not telling you hogwash. Okay? And if they are certified as financial planners, the better. Then, you know, they'll give you sound advice in your planning of things. In a church setting is different because we lean more on the Bible. And the reason why I tend to stand here quite often is that I've done some courses in that area as well. Not certified as a planner, but at least I can apply what I've learned and use the scripture to give you some knowledge of what you need to do. But when you go deeper into this, you need to get good advice. You know, you need to get somebody who's independent, who's going to give you a fair opinion. Okay. And good advisors, they normally charge. Those are good advisors. They'll charge you a fee for that, the advice that they're going to give you. And the one that you find on the street, which just say, I'm going to give you an advice, or on the internet or on Facebook, be careful of those advices. You see, be careful. Be careful. You know. The red flags. High returns, no risk. Problem. Don't go for that product. Pressure to decide immediately. People are selling you the product. Buy, you're going to lose. The train is leaving. You're going to miss the boat. To always say, I'm thinking about it. No rush, you see. Reluctant to explain the fees. How much are you charging me? They don't tell you the fees of one they're charging him. Be careful, you know. Unregistered people or schemes. Be careful, you know. Returns that depend on recruiting others. You know, there are people, the more you retain, the more they get a return, you must recruit people. Selling for commission. That's not good advice. You know, you mustn't go to people who are selling for commission, and then they'll say they want to sell you so that they can get commission. They're not worried about your money. You see, must be very careful. Plans fail where there is no counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed. You know. The last bit I want to talk about, just to close here, is saving together as stokvel. You know that in this country, this stokvel, people come together and they put money together in a stokvel. There's nothing wrong with it. Actually, it's good because it forces you to contribute. Because sometimes you may not do it on your own. No, so you may not do it on your own. Sometimes it's good. But you must have the stokvel that is well grounded, that is well managed. Otherwise, people can run away with the money. It has happened before, you know. you know. And so good stokvels will have a constitution. Good stokvel will have the rules that are laid down, you know, and that you can follow. It will help you to pull the money together and then discipline on you so that you can save. My advice for people who are doing stokvel: don't play stokvel, and if I play stokvel, then my budget doesn't balance. You understand? I'm earning 20,000 rand a month. I pay stokvel of 5,000 rand a month. But my expenses at home, they are at 18,000. So I'm short of 3,000 every month. And the excuse that I always give, I'll sort you when the stokvel pays me. You know what I'm talking about. You know, when it pays me, I'm gonna sort you. You know, just hold on. It's only 2 months. I'm going to be okay. I'm gonna sort you. It must not work like that. You know. You need to be using money that is outside your expenses. You know, it's money that even if you play or you don't play, you don't need it. Okay. In other words, you are saving, you know, because otherwise you'll be borrowing money to buy bread and everything, you know, because you are playing stokvel. It's not right. You see, it's a good tool We can club together, we can save together, but make sure that it's well managed, it's registered, it has got a constitution, and then you can achieve more in a stokvel, because it poke you to save, you see. And it's just that people nowadays, they do it in a different way. If you're playing stokvel 5,000 rand, if the stokvel is going to play for Rondani, for example, and we are going to give Rondani money 5,000 rand, the way in which I know stokvel, Rondani must first put her 5,000 on the floor. Before we give her ours. That's how it works. Rondani must say, okay, people come here now. Okay, there's mine here. On the floor. Then we empty our wallets and give it to you. She mustn't say, no, pay. No. That's how it's supposed to be. Because it's instilling the discipline in saving. You see? It's a good tool, but make sure that you use it wisely. I can say more about stokvel, but let me leave it there. Okay. Any questions before we close? Okay. All right. I know this was a load for information, but I will repeat it sometime also, just to make sure that you get used to these terms and everything, so that you can understand and learn more. And then we'll keep on mentioning them so that you are not afraid of these terms. All right. Thank you for coming. I think we'll have a... Yes, Brother Ngube.
Okay, I just wanted to add on one of the safest forms of investments, which is submitting your returns with SARS, especially when you get unemployed, retrenched, or fired from work. There is a rebate that SARS offers. So if you submit your returns on time, you can get that rebate. Just as a personal experience, in 2013, I stopped working, but I was submitting my returns. I got 5,600. 2020, I got retrenched. The rebate was 13,800. And then last year, it was 15,900. So you can get a lot by submitting your returns.
Yes. You see, one of the things that you need to do, you must make sure that your tax is in order. You might neglect them and not make sure that they're in order. But when you retire, the taxman is going to ask for his money. Or when you die and you got money, the taxman says, I need to get my share. It's only those are the only people that takes money even when you're dead, So make sure that you get those taxes in order. Okay. All right. Yes, Brother James.
I want to ask this Mnumzana ukuthi this one's of stokvels.
Stokvel, yeah.
It falls on high risk or low risk.
Sorry?
These ones of stokvels.
Is it failed on high risk? No. The stokvel is not high risk, in that people are putting money, and then in most cases what I've seen, there are those who put money together and only to withdraw it at the end of the year together. You know about those stokvels. That's not high risk. Yes, there will be a risk. Maybe the one who gets the money, then they rob him, and there's a problem. But now people avoid that nowadays by paying money to the bank's account, to the accounts. That's what they do to avoid those kind of risk. It's not very risky because money is guaranteed that it's going to come. People are going to contribute the money. It's just in the handling of the money that can pose a problem, you see. Okay. All right. Any more questions? Yes.
Because I want to ask, how can we overcome this tendency of ours whereby when we have money, we are jumping like popcorns? Because that's where the problem is, and we need to fix that first before we can get up there to the investments, wherever where we can maybe save the money. It's like we feel like the other day you even mentioned it, that we are jumping. Like you cannot, if you see outside the weather, how's the weather?
I do have a nephew. He was doing construction work, and then he told his people that they end after 2 weeks. Contractors, they end after 2 weeks. So it was a Friday that he needed to pay them, and they told him that they are hungry that Friday. He says, "Don't worry, when I go to withdraw the money and everything, I'll have some food for you. You'll be able to eat." So he went and bought food and the money. So he started by giving them the money. They're hungry, hungry. So he gave them their monies, their pays. He says, "Okay, now you got your pay, then we can eat." Before he could say we can eat, they pick up their bags, they were going. And he was staying behind with all the food they've left. They are no longer hungry anymore. One of the things that causes that is because there is no plan. And when you get money and you're going to plan for it, it's going to confuse you. And because there's no plan, there's no vision. Okay? You need to be a person who got a vision that these are the goals that I need to achieve in my life with the finances that I get. So that when money comes, it's easily slot in those areas. Okay? That's my advice to you. My another advice is that, say you just got a windfall, let me just use 100,000 for example. You got 100,000 rand. It won't hurt you if you can let it stay in the bank for a week or a month without touching it. Just let it stay there for a month or 2 months. Don't touch it. Hey, one pretty, don't touch it. And don't touch it, and sit down and plan what you want to do with that money without touching it. It's not going to go away, and it is in your account. See? But what disturbs me is that when people got the money, you can see they are burning. You know, they can't even sit still. You know, they can't even sit still. You know. You know. So, number one, vision, plan for it, and don't touch the money without a plan. Don't touch it without a plan. You see, the moment you touch it without a plan, you're going to lose it. You see, it's a guarantee you're going to waste it. You're not even going to know where it went. You know, write down. Let's say it's 100,000. So I'm going to take 10,000 and pay that. I'm going to take this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm do that. You account for it. You account for everything. Account for everything. And then you stick to what you have written down. You know. Not to go and buy things in the shop because he is saying that, this thing can't is 10,000, I can pay for it. I call it. Doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. Okay. All right. Okay. No, thank you. Thank you very much for coming. You know, I think that brings us to the end of our discussion. And then we are going to, let's stand up as we sing the same hymn that we started with. And then I'd like Mzalwane Mngubeni to close with a word of prayer. Oh, Baba, ngiyabonga nange Khlisiyo nise ngiya afuma ngithi ungu msindisi wami ngizo kwethemba njalo ngise semhlabeni ngizo kukhonza futhi ngothando enhlizweni.
Siyabonga bazalwane, isifundo esisitholile, umzalwane uyasenza kahle, you are being skilled, therefore fanele sibambele kuloko sikufundile ngoba akuningi akungibonise la angisakukhumbuli but initially into esemqoka ukuthi sithole ulwazi lwamahala. For such things you pay, kuningi umzalwane angakutshela ya. Ya abantu bezimali, abantu abasebenza ngemali, but siyabonga uNkulunkulu simthandayo usenzele le misebenzi ke, asibongeni ngokufishane. uNkulunkulu wethu namandla, siyabonga ukuboniswa wena kusivula amehlo Nkosini amandla. uNkulunkulu omuhle ngesikhathi zonke, inceku yakho inikezile amandla nolwazi nobuchule ukuthi Nkosini amandla lokho esinikeze khona sikwazi basigcine enhlizweni, sikhule sinabantwana sinolutsha phakathi kwethu labasaqala ukusebenza, badinga ukuthi ke lolu lwazi bakhule nalo ukuze ngakusasa bangafani nathi na sasabantu basemandulo besingazi ukuthi imali bekelwana, bethi mayifika sibhadala i-school fees senza whatever izinto esizibona zisemehlweni, kodwa lokhu ngokuthi siziqeqeshe sithole lolu lwazi. Siyabonga uNkulunkulu abusise manje sazoya emakhaya emigwaqeni endleleni. Nkosi sicela wena usiphephise usinakekele siphinde sihlakani ngengomso sizokudumisa. Amen.